Keeping the golden goose laying them eggs, looking after it.
Don't take any risks.
Thing is, with Anthony Joshua, he's Olympic gold medalist, and in the UK, he's a massive star. He sells out stadiums, 70,000, 90,000.
Huge star.
Huge star.
I say it's a win-win for Jake Paul is because, listen, if he wins, then he's beating a former heavyweight boxing world champion, certainly one of the best heavyweights of his generation, and of course, a man that is way bigger than Jake Paul. Of course, it's a win. And if he loses, it's still a win for Jake Paul because he had the balls. He was man enough. He was willing to test himself. He would prove everyone wrong, all his critics.
Come out of the blue, but it's intriguing. And I think from Jake's perspective, I think, he's had a lot of criticism about he is a pro boxer now. The way you want to look at it, he trains as a pro, but, and he's fighting as a pro. They said it's about time he fought some.
Joe Rogan and Tyson Fury fiercely questioned Anthony Joshua's decision to pursue a fight with Jake Paul. They argued Joshua and his team are chasing money instead of proving themselves against real threats. Fury stressed that true heavyweight challenges come from facing him or Deontay Wilder, not a crossover star like Jake Paul. To them, Joshua's choice looks like a calculated business move rather than a genuine quest for greatness.
Because this is a business at the end of the day. And if I was his management team, I'd say stay away from Fury, stay away from Wilder, and we'll just fight the rest of the people and keep making plenty of money. Why do we need to fight these?
Michael Bisping delivers a charged reaction to the idea of Jake Paul stepping in against Anthony Joshua, and he breaks it down with one explosive theme. Jake Paul cannot lose in this scenario. Bisping argues that Jake has maneuvered himself into a position where victory would launch him into a completely different stratosphere, and even defeat would upgrade his status. If Jake somehow manages to beat Joshua, whether through grit, timing, or pure luck, he instantly earns the respect critics claim he never deserved. Taking out a former unified heavyweight champion would give Jake validation that seasoned contenders rarely achieve. Even if Jake loses, Bisping says the outcome still boosts his image. By entering the ring with a true heavyweight, Jake presents himself as fearless and ambitious. But for Joshua, the pressure is overwhelming. Anything short of a dominant win will spark doubts about his sharpness and motivation. Bisping believes Jake arrives with nothing to lose, while Joshua carries the full burden of expectation. And that changes everything for him.
Out there on an island by myself, everyone says the same thing, and he would potentially prove all of those critics wrong. Well, yeah, he would, maybe, unless there's some funny business, right? And for Anthony Joshua, as I said, this is kind of a lose-lose, right? Because if he wins, people are still going to say, well, you only beat Jake Paul, right? The man that lost to Tommy Fury, after all, right? That's the only loss in his record, Tommy Fury. You're telling me that Tommy Fury is going to beat him, and then Anthony Joshua's not going to beat him? So if he beats him, he gets no credit. And if he loses, then holy sh*, can you imagine? That would be the biggest downfall of any boxer's career. The reality is, he's not going to lose. There is no way on this earth that Jake Paul can beat Anthony Joshua in a boxing match. That's just a fact, okay? Look at what he did to Francis Ngannou. Francis Ngannou hits as hard as a Ford Escort, going 100 miles an hour or whatever that stat was. Comes from the UFC. He was the UFC heavyweight champion of the world. Has a good go against Tyson Fury, but goes up against Anthony Joshua and gets flatlined. Every single punch that was thrown was landed, and every punch that landed put Francis Ngannou down, okay? So to stand there and think that Jake Paul, who's much, much smaller, who has way less experience, that doesn't weigh anything near him, is going to have a chance, and not to mention the technical abilities. Let's just talk about that. Not to mention the technical abilities or experience. We're talking about an Olympic gold medalist, remember, from back in the day, who's then gone on to become a true British boxing icon, or a worldwide boxing icon, let's be honest, right? There's no way.
Joe Rogan stresses that Anthony Joshua isn't just another boxer. He's an Olympic gold medalist and one of the era's most terrifying punchers. Rogan believes Joshua would walk into the ring with a mission: to deliver a violent reminder of what true heavyweight power feels like. He wouldn't settle for a simple win. Joshua would aim to punish Jake Paul so badly that he'd think twice before targeting real heavyweight champions again.
Oh my God, if he beat Anthony Joshua, good Lord. Good Lord. I mean, that's a big if. Right?
I mean,
Anthony Joshua,
I do not think.
Olympic gold
Yes.
medalist, former heavyweight champion of the world. What he did to Francis Ngannou,
I
like, good Lord.
Yes.
Do you want that smoke?
Yeah, I just think it's all about the promotion or whatever. I have no idea what the actual motivation is for that fight's not competitive at all.
Well, it's a dangerous fight.
Yeah, yeah.
Because Joshua's going to try to make an example out of him,
Yes.
for sure.
And will.
And will. I mean, Anthony
I know.
Joshua's one of the biggest one-punch KO artists ever.
Yes.
I mean, he's a one-punch fucking night-night guy.
Yeah.
You know, he's a great boxer.
Frank Warren takes a sharp and skeptical view of the entire situation, pointing out that the conversation seemed to explode out of nowhere. To him, every sign suggests that Jake Paul is the one aggressively pushing for this matchup. Warren believes Jake is exhausted from constant criticism. Every time he fights someone smaller, older, or outside the boxing world, the backlash gets louder. Now Jake wants a fight that permanently shuts down that narrative, and challenging Anthony Joshua is the quickest way to flip the script. Warren adds that most promoters never imagined such a proposal would surface, especially not from Jake's camp. On the surface, the fight sounds like a stunt. But Warren also admits that Jake appears genuinely determined to prove he's ready for a real heavyweight test, even if it means stepping into the ring with one of the division's most dangerous punchers.
Not a fight I even thought of. I mean, it's nothing to do with me to start with. I mean, it come out of the blue, but it's intriguing. And I think from Jake's perspective, I think, he's had a lot of criticism about, he is a pro boxer now. The way you want to look at it, he trains as a pro, but, and he's fighting as a pro. They said it's about time he fought some. I've seen some of the stuff, that's been said. When's he going to fight someone? Well, he's gone from one extreme to the other. That's what he's doing. So if that fight happens, you've got to take your hat off to him.
He got called out by Andre Ward, AJ. Would you rather see Jake fight AJ, which is obviously, as we know, a mismatch, or Andre Ward, who's been retired for 4 years?
I'd much rather see AJ fight Tyson.
Oh, please. I dread to think how many
We
times
don't know
you've
if that's
done
going to
this.
happen because the big man, he's filming, he's not made his mind up what he's going to do.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned and catch the next update.